the future of high school sports, high school baseball specifically, could be dramatically changing if Major League Baseball gets its way with its new proposal to the Players Association. Hey, welcome to the Man on Second podcast. We're going to dive into a topic. Obviously, the Man on Second YouTube channel is almost exclusively high school oriented, even though I do have college and some pro types coverage as well. But the most of it is dealing with the amateurs, the high school players, specifically here in Broward County and South Florida. And like I said, if Major League Baseball gets its way, things could dramatically change, because here's what Major League Baseball is proposing in its latest labor talks with the union. Basically, starting in 2028, the proposal, if MLB gets its way, high school players and even JUCO players will no longer be draft eligible. They'll have to go to like a 4-year school. And draft eligibility, basically they're making it your sophomore year in college if 20 years old by September 1st of that season. So 20 or 21 years old is when you can be drafted. The draft will also be cut from 20 rounds to 12 rounds. The bonus money will be cut by 50%. The slot values will be non-negotiable. And basically everything that the players are making now under the system will be gone. So how does this impact? There's more specifics. This is going to be a topic I have to dive into numerous times here. But just here, like I said, Man on Second, I deal with a lot of players, a lot of parents talk to me asking for advice on where to go. Because right now, the way the system's kind of set up, we saw it last year with my buddy Jordan Rich going in the 17th round. Jordan Rich, that would not be possible. Jordan Rich would have had to go to JUCO. He would have, because he had a Miami-Dade college offer. That was the only offer he had. He didn't have, like some people are saying, oh, well, if you're drafted, you should be in a Power 4. Well, no, not necessarily true. He got picked because the Toronto Blue Jays saw something in him, saw the fact that he had, plus speed, really good feel at the plate, really athletic. Now, why did Jordan, in that position? He was a dual sport player. He was a football player. He got injured his junior year of high school football. It cost him his entire junior season of baseball because he dealt with a shoulder injury. He basically recovered in time to do the last summer the showcases, and he did that. Got about 80 or 90 plate appearances. Came into the fall, gave up football, and bet on himself. Gave up an opportunity, I believe, at UConn to do both sports, and bet on himself and put him in position to be a draft pick. Now, Jordan also just literally turned 19 a day or so ago. So, he would not be. And then he got traded earlier this season to the Chicago White Sox for a big leaguer. So he is now in their system. The Jordan Rich situation will not exist if this goes through. How it mostly impacts our players here in South Florida, because we have, in the high school realm, we have Jacob Lombard at Gulliver Prep, the sensational shortstop, and Gio Rojas, the sensational left-handed pitcher at Stoneman Douglas. Both those guys project to go in the first round, if not the first 10 picks of the first round. Those guys were both University of Miami commits. So UM would be happy if this system was in place now, because they get 2 elite high school players, which would be great for UM, not so great for players who are ready to make that leap, make, upwards of $8-9 million right out of high school. A player I think it impacts this year, Brady Snow at American Heritage. Brady, he saw between last year and this year a tremendous spike in his velocity. And, so he transferred to American Heritage Plantation. And Brady was throwing 97. I think he hit 98 this year. Had a sensational year, University of Florida commit. But moving up the ladder right now because of a strong senior season in the draft ladder. So he could be a second, third, maybe a fourth round pick. Will a team even go with a Brady Snow right now, or just let him go to Florida in anticipation of this? So these are all things that are impacting our players right now. I'm going to talk in a minute about what I think this means for just the average player, the player who wants to go play college baseball, not really even with pro aspirations. What it's going to do if this goes through. Okay, let's break this down. Let's say you're a good high school player right now with college aspirations. You made tremendous strides between your sophomore to junior year, and you're anticipating more of the same junior to senior year. You're uncommitted. And what are your options now if this goes through? Keep this in mind. College, the NCAA a year or so ago reduced the roster sizes from 40 in college baseball to 34 spots. So, and now it used to be they would take a freshman, and that freshman would have an opportunity to sit the bench and develop. Now, yes, he could be redshirted, but development is really not happening. These Power 4 schools and the schools that are going on to the regionals and the College World Series, they're not developing players. If you're not ready to go, you're not playing. And so we're seeing, and we saw it here in Broward and Miami, some really good players a year ago going to D1 schools like Miami, to Florida, and others. Where are they right now? A lot of these players, after their freshman year of college, some of them got 10 at-bats. Some of them got 4 innings on the mound. Many of those players now are in the portal. A year ago, there was over 6,000 in the portal. This year, I project there'll be over 7,000 in the portal. So now you got to really, if you feel your child's ready to play, or as an athlete, you think you're ready to go somewhere, you better make sure wherever you're going, you're playing. So this could be a good situation for colleges overall, because those second tiers now, they're going to get some really quality players. But keep this in mind too. If you're a high school player and you even want to go to like Nova Southeastern University, for instance, Division II, this year's Nova team had players who were last year at D1 schools that went and hit the portal, found playing time at Nova. So this cycle now, guys are going up and down. So you're going to really, as an athlete, have to decide. You're going to, if you don't want to leave Florida, well, guess what? You may not, your career can be coming to a halt. Now, what is the beauty? Like here at Man on Second, all these videos I put up there, people wonder, why are these shorts of a guy taking BP or this or that? All these videos provide exposure to these athletes. Sometimes these colleges don't have big recruiting budgets. These teams aren't on national television. They're not showing Flanagan High School and Western High School on national television. But they're getting videos, or Pembroke Pines Charter, they're getting videos from Man on Second. So these schools, you could be in Pennsylvania, you could be in New York, you could be out west, and you see, hey, that kid looks like a pretty good player. I'm going to kind of keep an eye on him. Joe has 20 years covering the big leagues. If I'm putting a name out there, I think there's some talent there. So it helps that whole recruiting process. So yes, so you have to find where you want to go. If you don't think that a school is beneath you if that school is offering you a chance to play. What this is going to do to JUCO? JUCO is already log jammed as it is. It's only going to get more. So then, okay, another aspect of this, keep this in mind. Let's say you're a player who pitches and hits. You think you could go to college and do both. Well, guess what? In high school, you're going to have to decide. Yeah, you might have to do both in high school to try to help your team win state. But you really got to decide, where's my lane to a college, not just pro. Though the very few guys like a Gio Rojas, a Jacob Lombard, that's the best of the best. So if you just want any opportunity, you may have to decide, hey, I'm giving up pitching, I'm giving up hitting, because now you're putting your coach and your team at risk, because now you're one-dimensional player. You're specific to this. So that's something to consider. What about two sport athletes? Forget about it. If you're a football, baseball player and you're going to have a chance to play college, NIL money is much higher in football. Baseball's losing the football player now. Anyone on the fence that wants to do both, the Jordan Rich situation in reverse, probably is not going to happen much anymore, because you're going to have to now say, hey, I'm going to go where the NIL money is. And that's in football, and after that, basketball. So these are things to consider as you kind of make these decisions. And these are kind of the effects if this goes through. What could this mean for the summer showcases? I think this affects the perfect games of the world, the prospect selects, all the travel teams that you're on. You're on travel to get more exposure. Every year, Perfect Game has their big wood bat event in Jupiter, Florida, home of the Marlins and St. Louis Cardinals spring training site. That's where all the pro scouts, or the area scouts, I should say, the teams have been heavily represented at that wood bat tournament. Why would a high school kid right now need to be in a wood bat tournament if there's no upward path to the big leagues? Bobby Witt Jr. used to be in that event. Jackson Holliday. Basically, it's a who's who. Bryce Harper. You go down the line, everyone has been to that event. Kristen Yelich was at that event. So you have all these players now. So what does it mean for the showcases? Now they're going to be college heavy. Yes, there might be some area scouts there just to try to get some eyeballs on some high school players in that format. But I saw an argument, just the counter argument, that thinks that the showcases are going to be even more valuable because that's where all the colleges are going to be. That's where you're going to need to be. So what does this mean as a parent and as a player? This means now, guess what you're doing in the summer? If you thought you were going to take the summer off to weight train or kind of relax coming off a busy season, you're going to be coughing up a lot of money to go up to Georgia or go to Fort Myers or up to Jupiter, hotels, entry fees, all that good stuff. So out of pocket, it's also it's going to be costly. So like I said, I'm talking to just the average parent that wants. Look, I always say, if one of my videos or exposure on Man on Second or just playing high school baseball put you in a position to go to college, and if your baseball career ends in college, which most players it will, that you get either an education or meet the contacts that will help you succeed in life as a productive citizen, that's what it's about. So now I can see a lot of players saying this path is not going to be worth the risk. My skill level, even the late developers are going to kind of quit. I could see this really having a real domino effect. So I'm trying to keep it real with you. I'm trying to give you guys just a heads up if this goes through. Now, why is baseball doing it? That's a story for another day. There's obviously the labor dispute with the players. A lot of it is just simply cost cutting and where the sport's going. And you could look and say, yes, there's waste. We could just briefly, though, this will cost jobs ultimately at the big league level in terms of their minor league operations. It will cost coaching jobs. It'll coach player development jobs. It'll coach scouting jobs, which obviously that is something they're not super concerned about because they think AI is coming and video and analytics can do all the scouting to measure the person. So what's it going to build? Now, if you're a player who throws 95 miles an hour or hits the ball 100 miles an hour, the system's still geared for you. But if you're a player who has to work harder, you're maybe a little undersized, maybe you hit a growth spurt when you're 20, but now all of a sudden you're past that time to be drafted. The best of you wasn't there. There's a lot of layers to this. I could see players, dropping out of high school that don't even. I could see these academies potentially popping up and doing their own kind of thing and just becoming training centers. Everyone will assume like a Gio Rojas, assuming this would affect a Gio Rojas or a Jacob Lombard. They may not want to go to college. They may say, I'm going to go spend a year and go develop and then be eligible for the draft. Scouts are going to come see me. My talent's off the charts. I'm going to be just fine. I'm not going to risk anything playing college ball. That does happen. So I could see that being a possible scenario. Again, there's so much to dive into on this. I'm going to have to do many of these type of things. I hope people are tuning in. Just some of my observations. But these are some things as a parent, as a player, you got to prepare yourself. Eyes better be wide open because the landscape's changing fast. Who knows if it'll go through, but I will say this. MLB, for a while, they chopped the draft from 40 rounds to 20 rounds. For a while, they've been wanting to get this about to 10 to 12 rounds. So we'll keep that in mind. We got the combine coming up soon. I got some thoughts on that and how this can affect. I'll do that in a later one of these things as well. So that's my message of the day. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Check out all the videos. It's a little bit slow in the summer. I get it. People are kind of taking a little breather, but there's valuable content right now. I hope it's helpful. Comment below if you think I'm missing something, if I'm off base on something. Comment in the comment section. I'll welcome it. I'm not saying MLB is right. I'm not saying the players are right. I'm not saying college is right. I'm just trying to alert the players who are the lifeblood of this channel to let them know what's ahead of them and what they may have to think about. So that's, again, the point of this podcast. Should be fascinating to see how this thing plays out. No matter what the system's in place, people will adjust. That's just the nature of the game as well, and we will adjust accordingly. But we're letting you guys know all the bank shots, all that's on the line. And with that, I hope that helps out. We will check everybody else out in the next video. Thank you.